Boom! What's going on, guys? Welcome into your energy news beat here on this gorgeous Wednesday, January 13th, 2021. As always, I am your humble correspondent, Michael Tanner, coming to you from an undisclosed location here in Denver, Colorado, joined by my executive producer, the purveyor of the show, and the director and publisher of the world's greatest website, EnergyNewsBeat.com, Stuart Turley. How you doing today?
It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood, and we are packed.
We are packed. It's been a wildly long day, but we are super excited to get this show stopped. Before we dive in to all of our rundowns, as you can see on the side here, guys, first, just subscribe to this YouTube channel, Energy Newsbeat. Go check us out on our website, www.energynewsbeat.com. Subscribe to our one-click notifications. You're going to want to do that because if it's just going to be a real-time news feed of everything that's going down. If you want to know, to be honest, the headline and the line that we include on the metadata, it's worth it just to see pop up on your home screen. You're going to know exactly what's going on. Be most informed. Subscribe to our one-click notifications. You will not regret it. When we look at the equities markets today, guys, top line numbers, 0.25 percentage point SPY on the upside. Nasdaq was 0.6 percentage point. Dow Jones was pretty much flat. Is a couple things here. Interest rates fall a little bit off all-time highs, so that sort of brings markets up. That's why you see Nasdaq, as interest rates go down, Nasdaq's going to go up. As interest rates continue to rise, you're going to see a pullback. The other thing is President Trump was impeached today. Now, do I think that has much to do with what's going on in the markets? No, not really. I think a lot of it has to do with the sentiment that's what's going on with interest rates and the fact that, okay, there is a new administration coming in. Looks like there's going to be a 100-day mask mandate. There could be more lockdowns associated because, this new administration seems like they're going to be a little more stringent with their COVID regulations. So, the fact that the market is already trading at all-time highs amid all of this stuff is sort of shocking, in my opinion. So it'll be very interesting to see how these next couple days come around and how that all fits in. But I think the key number that traders were watching today was those interest rate numbers. Currently, when we look at our futures, our ES is trading flat, and NQ is basically flat as well. Crude oil, it's down 0.25 percentage point for that front-end futures contract, currently trading 52.72. Back end of the curve was actually up today, so we're seeing that contango market tighten a little bit. We had a 3.2 million barrel draw from Cushing. We'll cover that mainly in the story, which is we'll cover the full EIA report. But the difference is there was a 5.8 million barrel expectation that was priced in at the API yesterday, so that's why you're seeing crude oil fall today off a draw. Well, because the draw wasn't as big as what traders were expecting via the API. So that's what you have to do. If you're trading crude oil for API on crude oil days, that's 8:30 Mountain Standard Time. You gotta know what the API number was, because all that happens is the reaction based upon the number, and that's if you're getting in there right away. It could be I wouldn't say it's an easy way, but if you get the process down, it's one of the more statistically relevant trades you can make out there. So just be wary. If you're doing crude oil, crude oil inventories, make sure you know what the API number is. On the natural gas side, fairly light. Trading at about 1.5% on the upside, $2.75. Back into the curve was only 0.25 percentage point on the upside. Again, we're looking at a weather trade right now. Supposed to be a little cooler after, remember, December was supposed to be really hot. We're getting a little bit of kind of a cooler weather streak coming here. It's actually gorgeous today here in Denver. I was able to walk around with shorts and a t-shirt. I always love that. The walk around outside, shorts and a t-shirt, but there's snow on the ground. Looking at XOP, which is our E&P securities contract, that was actually down 1.5%. OIH, which is oilfield services, was down 3 percent points, and that's after the markets are going up. So, energy's actually been the biggest gainer in the S&P 500. We're kind of seeing a slight reversion to the mean right there. That's really all I would take away from that. Some of our numbers on the downside for equities, Bonanza Creek, they were down 5 percentage points. Suncoke down 6 percentage points. Continental down 6.5, and SM down 10 percentage points. They were just downgraded by Moody's. On the upside, we got a couple things. WPX, they're up 5 percentage points. Tellurian, they were up today. Haldor Energy up 11. New Concept Energy up 12. And Peabody Energy up 15. Stu, International News Desk, what do we got today?
Put your tray table up, Michael. We're ready to rumble.
I'm ready to roll
okay.
Today.
First one up is our buddy Elon, or as I affectionately call him, Elton. Here we are. Tesla Motors has got some tax incentives to go to India. They are beating the snot out of Volkswagen and everyone else right now to boost the incentive. India plans to offer $4.6 billion in incentives to set up an advanced battery manufacturing. So here we are. Elon is actually doing some pretty darn cool stuff over there, and India is pretty smart with their energy. So pretty interesting on that one. Next one coming around the corner. Okay. LNG prices rising faster than Bitcoin. Did you just buy some Bitcoin today, Michael?
I got in on Bitcoin a little bit. Well, we've had an account open for a little bit, but yeah, I got in on a little Bitcoin today.
Good for you. Part of this was also because of all the cold weather in Japan and in Asia. Now there's so much demand that shipping is actually going nutty. They've actually said a couple quotes in here that are actually pretty good. We have plenty of LNG shipping ships, but they're not in the wrong place. So, but I thought that was kind of funny. Somebody else said something like totally contrary to that. One guy says we are not going to have enough LNG capacity because there's only 50 million tons of LNG that are going to be built over the next 5 years. That's not enough. So we have even conflicting stories of information in this story. Read it on energynewsbeat.com. Next one coming out of the thing here is our boys over here at Qatar. And this is kind of cool. The Q-Flex line of LNG transport ships, they did their first STS, ship to ship transfer, is pretty darn cool. Imagine being able to transfer that much LNG ship to ship. So that means now they're not going to have deep water ports.
How much LNG do these ships hold?
A bunch.
That's scientific.
Yeah, 212 metric tons.
Woo-hoo-hoo-hoo-hoo. That's a decent
lot,
amount of LNG right there.
It is. That's more than I used to. Never mind. I had a college date there. Okay, next one coming around the corner here. You ready?
Yeah.
The boys over in Norway. We love this one. Norway used to have, Michael, kind of give me a ballpark here, what you think Norway used to have for carbon tax per ton.
Oh, I want to say it was in the $30 to $50 range.
Close. Give yourself a cookie. It was in the $70 range.
Oh,
okay. Today they announced $237 per metric ton carbon cost. Holy smokes.
And are they doing credits or are they doing just a straight up tax on emissions?
Tax. So
which
we must make sure they're making it painful. His quote is, we must make sure it pays to cut greenhouse tax emissions.
Now, to steal a phrase from our favorite guy, hot take of the day, DRW, we love him. Look forward to having him on our show here soon.
Yep.
See if we can make that happen. But not to steal his thunder, but hot take, the economist in me prefers a straight up tax to credits. Right. Because as long as the tax is set, obviously $237 is a ridiculous price. We don't. I'll just 70, say that up front.
Yeah, 70.
But
okay.
But I'm thinking if you put, you talk about maybe make it $8. I took a class in college that was where you had to you find carbon pricing. You can come up with what the tax is based upon, and you can make it to where companies will emit slightly less. You will be able to make money off the emissions that you can then fund for renewable and carbon capture. I mean, I'm about to run a story on Oxy. They're doing something really cool in the Permian. I mean, it's gonna be interesting. Well, we'll dive into the story then. But I like the tax idea in theory. Do I think $270 or $237 per ton is smart? No, I think that's too much.
I think somebody was not thinking correctly when they did that one. I think that here's the problem, and it's almost like a couple of our other stories that we ran. The end user, Michael, is going to pay that. So
Yeah, no, exactly. The money will be passed on from in higher energy prices.
yep.
Um,
Did you want a bag of chips with that trip that we just took, or was
I
it
do.
a
I do
cookie?
need a bag of chips and some peanuts
Yeah.
after that, especially because it sounds like it's gonna cost me a little more money to do some production in Norway. We love our Norway guys up there. Shout out to
Oh,
them.
absolutely.
Anything else? We landed.
We landed. Put your
I
trade
love it.
table away.
Well, a couple things on the U.S. energy side. We'll dive back into the EIA report first. As I mentioned on the top line numbers, 3.2 million barrel draw. That was compared to a 5.82 million barrel draw that the API expected. Other numbers, domestic production stayed fairly flat, 11 million barrels. Refinery utilization, 80.4 last week. This week, great number, 82 flat. So we're slowly moving up. And I think this is a sign that cases have continually rose. I mean, I don't even remember the last time cases, I think if you look at a graph, have just, and utilization has gone from the low 70s to now we're sitting here at 82. So we're not locking down. Andrew Cuomo came out and tweeted, we're not locking down. We need to figure out how to do the same. When you've got Cuomo tweeting, we're not locking down. Demand's coming back, and I think that's partly what's reflected in the oil price right now. Now, there's other factors. One could argue maybe we are going to go back into a lockdown because Biden's coming into administration. I don't know. There's both sides you can take. So that's where it's such a spicy situation. So that's you've now heard the bull and bear side for oil. There it is. There it is. Because you look at the inventory report. Wow, I'm bullish. You look at the fundamentals. Whoo, yikes! It doesn't look that good.
It was Al Gore that had a bear man pig, wasn't it?
I don't
Yeah,
know, but
yeah,
maybe.
he did. He had a bear man pig.
Interesting. So to go along with the Norway story, talking about boosting carbon taxes, and this doesn't have anything to do with it. Very interesting story out of the Permian Basin from Occidental. They get a lot of flack for clearly, the merger with Anadarko hasn't quite worked out the way it does, and rightfully so. It wasn't a great deal. That's not a hot take. Sorry, not a hot take there. They probably wouldn't do that deal today if they had the same opportunity. But what's interesting about Occidental is they are thinking like these other, we don't consider them a super major. We don't consider them an international. And we don't think of them in that same breath. But they're thinking along those same lines. They're thinking like BP. They're thinking like Total. They're thinking like Equinor. They're thinking like all of these big players in we're shifting to renewables. Top line headline, Stu. Occidental to strip carbon from air and use it to pump crude. No, this could be interesting, Stu. Deep in the Permian Basin, America's biggest oil field, Occidental Corp plans to build a facility that it believes could change the way the world thinks about fossil fuel emissions. The global's first large-scale direct air capture plant will remove carbon dioxide from the atmosphere and pump it deep underground where it will remain for millions of years. The process would essentially be the reverse of what oil and gas companies do today. You're laughing. I think it's interesting. The rendering they gave out is pretty funny. It just looks like there's a different version of a wind farm in
Yes,
the Permian.
and I saw that on one of the History Channel shows. It was actually something that
So
was
Oxy
built by.
didn't push that out.
No, Oxy did, but I'm just saying I saw the same rendering on the History Channel from abandoned key structures from around the world. I'm just kidding. It's hideous. That's huge.
It is.
It's cost not effective. I don't know. I just got really tickled, Michael. Love the idea. Love the idea.
Here's just what cracks me up, Stu. if the goal with all of this is to give yourself better, the goal of this, if I'm Vicky Holland, I need to be thinking, how do I increase my share price? That's really what you need to be thinking about, because you're about gone if the share price goes any lower. And that, so I need to be thinking, okay, how do I get small, easy, quick wins? By their own admission, it'll take millions of years for it to turn around. That's not a time frame that's going to help any investor. I'm not going to be around in a million years. So, I don't think Occidental will be around in a million years. From my favorite movie, Miracle, it's a lofty goal, Herb. It's a lofty goal. But I applaud. I mean, they're thinking in the right.
Yes, I got to give them that. They are thinking down the right way.
Now, do I think this warranted? This is what they're coming up with? This is what I used to think in college, and this is no disrespect to any company out there. I used to think in college, oh my goodness, these people that work at these companies, they're just brilliant. And then you realize, we're all about the same. And we're all just kind of the same. We're all just trying to figure out, because this idea, that's what you guys came up with. That's what this got workshopped around it to the point where they made a rendering, they pushed a press release out.
What were they thinking?
I don't know. And maybe they'll be the ones laughing at us in 3 years when this is.
Hey, if I can put a crayon to the numbers on manufacturing it versus the tax credits that you're going to get or the ESG score that it's going to create, that's pretty sad.
Yeah, I mean, but to give you an idea, the quote from CEO Vicky Hall, in her defense, her quote is, "We want to become a carbon management company." Quote, "We are not afraid of the transition out of oil and gas. We want to be part of the transition. I do believe that in 15, 20 years, more of an income will be from carbon management than from oil and gas." So if you believe that, as CEO of Oxy, Vicky Hall, then why would you not make this decision? So, that's where she's sitting in her position. If that's her position, clearly she has the backing of her board, because she doesn't come out and say that without knowing her board's behind that. Well, then this is the right way to go. And they're cackling at us because, hey, we're making fun of the fact. So we're making fun. So there's a case to be made on both sides. It just makes me pause. Is this the way to go? I don't know. Only time will tell, clearly. Time will tell. Hopefully I'm around to see the answer, because according to the time frame I'm reading, I won't. Anything else, Stu? What we missed today? It's a late one tonight. We'll call it Nightcapper.
Oh, yeah, we'll call this the night show. I don't know. It was a lot of fun today, Michael. You did good.
Thank you. And with that, guys, we're going to let you get out of here. You're probably, ditching, hanging out with your friends or family. You can get back to them. Thank you for checking us out. World's greatest website, Energy Newsbeat. We will see you guys tomorrow for another episode.